Well, with the COVID-19 virus overspreading the mid-Atlantic and much of the country, we thought we would tackle the pollen season because allergy sufferers may not know if they are experiencing the symptoms of COVID-19 or the allergies. And we're going to talk about the best days and the worst days for allergies going ahead this spring. The allergy season has increased by 10 days across the mid-Atlantic because spring is beginning earlier. So the last day of temperatures below freezing is beginning earlier, and fall is beginning later in the season. So allergy sufferers have seen an increase in 10 days in the allergy season over the last 20 years compared to the early to mid 1900s. Itchy eyes, stuffy nose, sneezing is associated with the cold or allergies. If you have a flu or perhaps the coronavirus, you are going to experience fever, fatigue, body aches, cough, and shortness of breath. The peak allergy season, so those of you who suffer from dust particles or allergies associated with cats and dogs, January and February you are sneezing quite a bit. Tree pollen begins in juniper tree pollen, that is, begins in February, so most of the month of February we are seeing that particular pollen increase. Willow tree pollen is typically worst February 18th through March 7th. Elm tree pollen is typically the worst from March 1st through April 5th. Maple tree pollen peaks between February 25th and April 30th. Birch and alder tree pollen is the worst in March. Poplar, beech, and sycamore tree pollen is actually the worst in April. Ash and oak tree pollen, mid-April to mid-May. Hickory and walnut tree pollen is in May for those who suffer from those particular allergies. This is all for the mid-Atlantic, by the way. Timothy and orchard grass pollen is typically the worst in May and June. Bermuda grass pollen in July. And those of you who suffer from weed pollen associated with sorrel weed or plantain weed typically see the worst symptoms late spring into the middle of the summer. Lamb's quarters is usually late June to mid-August, and then once we get into August through September, we start to see sage and ragweed sufferers start to sniffle quite a bit. Here's the forecast for the remainder of March. Today is a bad day for pollen because of the warm temperatures and the gusty winds. However, much colder weather is coming down the pike and some rain, so we will start to see allergy sufferers in a bit of a lull here next week, which is good news. And then it starts to pick up again, the allergies, late next week on March 27th. And then we start to see another storm system move in around the 31st, so allergy sufferers will have it a bit easy into the first part of April. It'll be rough for the second week as things dry out and warm up again. Easy right around the end of Easter weekend into the first part of that week. And then it will turn rough towards the end of April, essentially because warmer weather will be here and we'll have a bit of a dry pattern develop. Don't forget, log on to almanack.com to order your subscription, your 2020 Almanack subscription, or Friends of the Almanack page where you can get the Almanack in digital format. We'll have an update to the weather in about a week. Everyone, stay safe and stay healthy.